Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. The legislation before you, S337, is designed to do primarily one thing: put the citizens of Burrillville in charge of their own destiny. Its principal component would require the Barville Town Council to put any tax treaty on the proposed Invenergy power plant to a vote of the citizens, who would bear financial, economic, and environmental consequences of this power plant. In an issue such as this, where literally the future direction of the town is being decided, the voters must have final say. This bill would also add members to the Energy Facility Siting Board to broaden its perspective, and would require the board take into account any city or town council resolutions when making its final decision. I want to emphasize up front that, contrary to statements of some power plant supporters, this bill is not NIMBYism. Far from it. Growing up, my parents told my three sisters, my brother and me, if everyone does a little, no one has to do a lot. In fact, the 16,000 residents of the rural community of Barville have already made a significant contribution to the power needs of the state of Rhode Island. In my view, they've done more than their fair share. This community already hosts one large gas-fired power plant in a separate high-pressure gas transmission facility that recently underwent a major upgrade. So suggestions of NIMBYism I hear out there just don't hold water. But to place a second large power plant in a small town without consideration of other viable alternative sites in other parts of the state is not only unfair to the residents of Northwest Rhode Island, but it sends a message that the interest of large out-of-state corporations like Invenergy will trump, no pun intended, the interests of the residents of Burrillville. Putting a second power plant in Burrillville would be like asking Johnston to host a second working landfill, or Warwick to host a second working airport. It is too much of a burden, and it just wouldn't happen. To the officials of Invenergy, the proposed site is a pinprick on the map of their vast corporate empire. To the 16,000 residents of Burrillville, it's a lot different. It's their home, their community, the one they've worked hard for, and they are committed to protecting their quality of life. They should get a direct vote in the process. This bill is not anti-power plant or anti-business, as some have alleged. It's simply designed to improve the existing siting process. What it proposes to ensure that the views of all local residents are given full weight when these siting decisions are made. And in a specific case of Barville only, it will require voter approval for any major tax treaty approved by the town council. The corporate opponents of this bill have spent a lot of money over the last year on high-priced lobbyists, newspaper advertising, and other things to tell people what a good deal this really is for the town. And that's fine. That's their right. But now let's put their argument to the test. Let's let the people have a vote on any tax treaty that is proposed in Burrillville. If they agree and vote yes, fine, so be it. But the people would have spoken. But if they say no, then Invenergy will need to look for another community to make its case. It has to work for both parties. A famous business strategist once said, if you don't have a plan B, you don't have a plan. I am not opposed to a power plant and the jobs it creates as long as it's not in Burrillville. We've done our plan. We've done our part, so go to plan B. I fully understand that both Brayton Point and Plymouth Station will be going offline soon, and that the region needs additional electric plants for system reliability. We should build these plants in Rhode Island, but not in Burrillville. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, let's trust the people on this one. Thank you, and I'm here for any questions.
Thank you, Senator Fogarty. Are there any comments for Senator Fogarty?